Bitcoin currently trading at $65,000. Many may still be wondering, will we get the pullback down into the $62,000 zone that we're looking at? Stock market coming down pretty hard as well. DXY, the dollar index, showing signs of exhaustion and weakness. So in today's show, we're going to have a look at what this means for the crypto market. You can see over here on the daily time frame, a couple of coins are up. It's half and half, half up, half down. What about the weekly? Most of the coins up over there. Hourly, starting to put in a bit of a bounce. You got PopCat as well over here, which is also one of the biggest gainers on the daily, holding up at 5% over there. And then we do have Rune, which is one of the trades that we took yesterday, up 6%. So you should be in profits if you listen to that trade. Stay tuned till the end of the show. We'll have a look at some of the trades that we took. We'll make adjustments where necessary to the portfolio. And then, guys, smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And let's get straight into it. So I do want to start off over here, of course, with the DXY, because we're seeing signs of weakness over here, breaking below the 200-day moving average, which is starting to now roll over. And it looks like you've pushed into that and actually started to reject. So we might get a bit of a deeper breakdown, but we have to respect the gray box territory, which is going to be high time frame support, right? High time frame support. And we obviously, as bulls, hoping to flip this into resistance, and then we can look for the next move down. And that should really get the crypto market rallying. Now, I also want to focus a little bit on today's show, timing wise, how long this bull market could last. We'll look at a couple of different data points, and we'll see how much time there still is left for this bull run. Now, if you look at this relationship between the US dollar index on the 2-day time frame, which is listed on the top chart over here, and then you look at the Bitcoin on against the USD on the 2-day time frame on the bottom, what you'll notice over here is that when the dollar moves from that period of green, this is over the course of the last, let's call it almost year and a half to 2 years, since 2023, we've observed this relationship. When the DXY does start to break down and moves into the red territory over here, that's where you're getting your first initial moves on Bitcoin. So where are we at right now? Well, you're starting to break that trend line again over here, starting to break down into that zone over there, losing some key support areas. And now you're starting to see Bitcoin move up. So will this cycle persist? That is the question. It looks to be the case so far. And there's really this displacement between Bitcoin and the stock market, and a massive divergence, because over here, I warned you guys of this. I said weeks ago already, we're coming onto a weekly 9, the TD sequential 9 count over here, which shows exhaustion of the trend. And you're looking for a 1 to 4 candle pullback or potentially a consolidation. Now, it's starting to look like it is a pullback that's taking place over here on the NASDAQ, the top right chart. One of the biggest wipeouts that we've seen for a long time on the NASDAQ in terms of percentage lost over here. So if you look at that, this is pretty substantial for the stock market in one single day to be losing almost 4%. And then you have the Dow Jones Industrial Average breaking out. So a clear rotational shift over there from S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ into more the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And if you look at this tweet over here, this is just to give you some perspective of actually how small the crypto market is. He says over here from 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓, he says this one-day drop is more than the entire market cap, right? So the NASDAQ drop that I just showed you over here, which is just around 4%, is more than the entire market cap of Ethereum and Solana combined. It's 74 billion in Solana plus the 410 billion in ETH combined in terms of a wipeout. So it just gives you some perspective how small crypto actually is and what the opportunity is going forward into the future, how big this thing could grow. And if you look at gold, look at the exponential growth of gold. Remember, they also implemented the spot ETFs on gold, and gold went pretty much parabolic ever since that point. It is meeting the criteria of a parabola over here. Hardly even had to make any adjustments to this chart. I simply just added the very standard parabola on. And as you can see over here, this is your gold chart breaking out to new all-time highs. But what you may notice over here is the vertical line that I have marked off on the chart. This is actually gold trading pre-1971, right? There's gold trading pre-1971. As you can see, very, very flat. And then something happened. What happened over here, right? It went full vertical. And there's actually a whole website dedicated to this for those of you who, you know, are super nerdy when it comes to 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓 when it comes to markets, you might want to go and have a look at this. What the F happened in 1971, right? That's where gold started to go crazy. The answer is that President Nixon broke away from the gold standard. Soon as you broke away from the gold standard, gold actually started to go parabolic over here, because that's where funny money came about, and they started to print fiat at an exorbitant level, and consequently hard assets started to price that in and turn extremely bullish, right? Which is why holding your at least your value in gold, property, and Bitcoin would likely be a strong bet for the future, because the funny money game continues. And you can go through the site over here. It shows you growth in productivity and hourly compensation, the shift over there. What happened over here? Productivity had to go up, but compensation went down. Where? 1971. And literally this list just goes on and on and on, with every single thing that happened. If you, also, even in terms of diets, the way the dietary preferences changed, people stopped eating red meat, things like that. You can go through. There's just a massive list over here. Cumulative inflation, what happened? It was just climbing along steadily. And then inflation went parabolic when? In 1971. Consumer price index went parabolic when? 1971. Absolutely every single inflection point. Electricity, food and fruit, changes in price action over there got more and more expensive when? In 1971. Everything went parabolic, and it's been, for lack of any better word, an absolute shit show ever since. And consequently, we found this thing called Bitcoin, right? Gold is, of course, great, but Bitcoin is a digital alternative that is reaching, extreme network effects and parabolic advancements a lot quicker than what you're seeing in gold, because of course it's easier to move, it's easier to store, it's easier to get your hands onto, it's more accessible, it's not limited by any borders, it's of course got a lower stock to flow model than what you're seeing in gold. And go through, have a look at this website over here. You'll see every single thing over here. Super interesting. Look how far this list goes on, all the way to the bottom over here. Here we go. Beef cow inventory, right? Inventory for beef started going down when? In 1971. Okay, cool. With that being said, let's continue. Let's continue the show. If you are wanting exposure to gold, by the way, this is, of course, just a shout out for one of our sponsors. But if you are wanting exposure to gold, then you can buy that actually right over here. If you go to the CVD section on Prime XBT, you can buy gold, copper, zinc. You can buy, there we go, on zinc over here. You can buy the French stock market, German stock market. You can buy Japan stock market over here. You can buy lead, natural gas, the NASDAQ. Everything is listed over here. They have crypto, stocks, commodity, and Forex pairs on Prime XBT. I arranged something special for my community with them where you can get up to $7,000 sign-up bonus or 25% discount on your trading commissions when you use the link that's in the description below, which is over here for Prime XBT. So for those of you who want to trade this gold bull run, that is the place to do it. All right, let's look at Bitcoin over here. Will Bitcoin follow gold? Well, so far the monthly is shaping up to be a very good candle over here. I would love to see if this monthly candle can take out the previous month highs over here, which would be getting above 67,500. That will really start to get this move going. But the question is, how far are we into this bull market? How much time is left? And what should your expectation be going forward? Is this the end, right? Because this is what a lot of people are starting to say. Well, timing wise, I've spoken about this a whole lot before, but if you measure bottom to bottom of every market over here, we can see that it's got a 47-month timing period. There you go, bottom to bottom, 47 months. So, I mean, theoretically, you can just copy that out and already see where would the next major bottom be, right? So if we take that over there, we'd be looking at the next major bottom for the next bull market or bear market, excuse me, would be somewhere around October 2026. We can probably already measure that out. But what about the tops? 49 months top to top, 46 months top to top. That puts you somewhere around August to November 2025. Now, let's take this a step further. That means that you'd be looking at still continuation of this bull market for potentially another, call it 12 to 16 more months, another year at least of a bull market environment where you see up only, and that's where your alt seasons will come into play, especially in those last 6 months of the bull run. What about if we look at it from this viewpoint and we focus on the halving cycle? Remember, the Bitcoin halving cycle is the event where the mining reward gets divided in two. And the miners have a very, very strong impact on where price is going to next, right? So this creates that supply shock within the market because there's not as much Bitcoin going around. At least the stock to flow model decreases. Remember, how much stock is flowing out? Well, less. Every 4 years, it's divided in two. Now, what we've noticed is that if you mark off the yellow lines over here as the first halving cycle, and then the next one will be the second halving cycle, third and fourth, and so forth. Right. You have price consolidating at those all-time highs following that halving cycle event, and things tend to go parabolic. Measuring from that halving cycle to the exact peak is 12 months. I'll show you the relevance of this in alignment with this chart over here in just a moment to show you the best possible prediction for when the top could come into play. Let's go to the next one over here. What is price doing? After the halving event, it's consolidating at those previous all-time highs. What happens? A pretty explosive move follows, right? If you measure again from that halving cycle to the exact peak, it's 16 months. So we have 12 and 16. Let's go to the next one over here. This is your third halving cycle leading into the 2021 bull market peak. Price consolidates near those previous all-time highs. What happens next? A parabolic advancement. And from that halving cycle over here at the vertical line, measuring forward to the exact peak, 17 months, right? So we have 12, 16, and 17. So let's say that this cycle adds an additional month, and we'll have a shorter time frame case, which would be 12 months, the shortest that we've seen within the cyclical path. And then we'll have an option where we go to 18 months, so adding on one because we saw 16, 17. Maybe this one's 18 months. What are we seeing over here? Well, what is price doing? It's consolidating where at the previous all-time highs when post-halving cycle, measure out 12 months. It takes you over here to May 2025. So that gives you about another year, right? Fast forward to if you go 18 months out from the halving cycle, where does that take you? October 2025. Let's revisit this chart over here. What are the zones that I've given you between 46 and 49 months from peak to peak in the prior cycles? That lines up between August and November, right? Very, very, very similar. Therefore, there's good times to come, right? We're still looking for another 12 months at least as per the timing. We can also look at the seasonality of the Bitcoin monthly returns and how they do in these various months. Remember, post-halving, you expect the parabolic advancement to start to take place. Now, if we have a look over here, we've seen that usually if you have a red June, you follow on with a green July. We've never had red June following on into a red July. Currently, as it stands, we're still up 3.16% for the month of July. You can see August, September, sometimes there's a little bit of a lull period, but mostly October, November, December are pretty positive months where you should see at least the very start of that parabolic advancement and continuation. What that means for you back at home is that any time that price comes down, if you have a little bit of a pullback over here, this creates an opportunity, right, for you to start to build long positions. So if you do even see price come down to those low targets, let's just grab that over there. There you go. If price does even come down to, the $40,000 region, that just becomes an opportunity, and you're looking for a slow grind onwards and upwards, leading into that parabolic advancement at some point in the third to fourth quarter of 2025. All right. Also, with that being said, within these bull markets, right? So every time you look after the yellow line within these bull markets over here, or we can look over here, there you go, from market bottom to top. There we go. Again, market bottom to top, market bottom to top, and market bottom to wherever this top is going to be. We see at least 7 major corrections, right? How many corrections have we had? Well, so far, we've been in 5 corrections. So this has been one of the longest corrections that we've had, sitting now officially at 126 days. We said we'll count this as the end of the correction when we officially break above those previous highs where the correction began, which was on the 14th of March. So we've done the usual drawdown for this cycle, which has been anywhere between 20 and 30%. This was the deepest correction as well at 27.54%. Prior cycles like 2013, 2017, and 2021 bull run, we saw in the region of even as deep as 40 to 60% corrections. So as the asset class matures more and more, it becomes less likely that we're going to see corrections that deep. Keep in mind, this is still theoretically downtrending. You are printing lower highs and lower lows over here, but corrective wise, we expecting that between 4 and 6 months, this correction should come to its end. We're already 4 months into this correction at 126 days. So it is time to start to look for better opportunities to start to build those long positions. The price is above our little bull market metric that we've been using over here, which is the 21 exponential moving average. And which way is it angled? It is angled towards the upside. As long as you remain above $60,000, it's bullish, right? That presents an opportunity. We still need to break the 𝗬𝗓𝗧s, which are currently sitting at $69,000, which is why I mentioned over here as well, if you do go back to that monthly chart, if we can start to take out those previous month's highs and close candles above here, that will be very, very bullish, right? Above $67,500. That should do the trick, right? It should do the trick because the 𝗬𝗓𝗧s are currently trending down. That means in a couple of, maybe even next week, right, we might start to break above that 𝗬𝗓𝗧, and then you have all systems go and continuation highs. So that's your high time frame overview. You're finding a little bit of resistance over here in the daily mid-range as well as the middle of the Bollinger Band, but volatility has really been reset over here. The longer bulls can hold price action sideways for, the better, right? So the longer that they can keep it within this range, the more the the ball will shift into their court and they'll have an opportunity to get prices moving up higher. Price is now also broken back above the 50-day moving average. The white one is your 200. The red one is your 50. You can see back testing that as support. And this is one reason why I started to take some long positions yesterday, right? We did that on the show. We went through a bunch of coins. I started to open up long positions simply for the reason that, this is an environment where you could start to see breakouts and you don't want to be left behind. So look, I'm already well established in terms of my portfolio and positions. So the trades given yesterday are more for those of you who are experiencing extreme FOMO. Now, the irrational thinking would be that, if you continue to consolidate here following a big move, you're going to lead into a greater breakout. Now, there's still a possibility that you could come down all the way to $60,000, let's say even slightly below, back to the 200 moving average, which is the white one over here, for one more pullback. But it's really a 50-50 scenario. So you don't want to be left behind right now. If you have no positions on the table, you could theoretically start to scale in with the anticipation that, you're looking to get in within this zone over here. If price does pull back a little bit more, you can continue to add, but at least have a little bit of skin in the game over here in the event that prices rally up higher. I'll show you why on the lower time frames in a moment. But as long as price consolidates here above the 50, inevitably you're going to have the super guppy indicator, which is just a bunch of other EMAs moving in increments of 3. So the 3, the 6, the 9, 12, 18, 21, 24, and so forth EMAs in one easy to read indicator. Those will all start to shift up. That's going to create a strong band of support. And eventually this will start to flip green. And usually, when it does flip green, that's where you often get these big trending moves, right? So you can see over here, gray starts to get tighter and tighter, and that's your volatility expansion as that moves towards the upside. So this is the outlook. You are coming into mid-range over here, which is acting as a bit of resistance, but price, as mentioned, is above that 50. Now, this would be my ideal scenario, would be a pullback into the zone, coming into the 9 and 18 exponential moving average, back testing at a support. That would also be very similar to what we see on that Wyckoff accumulation schematic, which is over here. There we have it. Price breaks above the range, creates the spring, breaks back above the range, throws back into that range low, which is now becoming support, back testing it, proving that it's support, and then you have continuation higher. So that's something that could potentially happen, but it doesn't always have to happen, right? Bulls could get running with this, get price above the mid-range, and have straight continuation higher. This is why we were mentioning way back here that you want to be making your long trades, or at least setting up your long trades over here, and not trying to build positions when you're somewhere in the mid-range. Right now, we're in the mid-range. The trades that I give are simply just to help those who are not exposed. You who have been following me for a long period of time and you took your trades down here, do not need to take these trades because you already have that exposure, right? So let's see, possibly you get a throwback into this region, but absolutely no guarantee, right? As long as you're above the 50 over there, you could have continuation higher. There is still some liquidity also lining up at that $62,000 region, which I am keeping an eye out on. On the 24-hour look back period, though, you do have stronger liquidity at 65.4, which again shows that you might attempt at this mid-range level once again, trying to break back above. So right now, you can see it's straight trend continuation, right? If we go on the hourly time frame, this is the picture, right? You can see very, very clearly, you just have high highs and high lows. And as long as that structure continues, you may as well hold those long positions. This is, of course, now a major high low in the making. So you really want to hold above this point over here to keep that trend continuation. So you would then be expecting, right, something like this, right? Higher highs and higher lows until that trend eventually does break down. So your low time frame longs, you can continue to hold those positions. But there's something noteworthy that I want to mention on the 4-hour time frame, which is this. You're officially getting the golden cross between the 50, which is the blue, and the 200, or excuse me, other way around, the 50, which is the red, and the 200 blue EMA on the 4-hour time frame. Now, I've mentioned this before, that oftentimes when you get these crosses, eventually price would be overextended above this region. So it could continue to rally, right? You're just governing that trend of high highs and high lows. It continues to rally, but eventually you'll get a throwback into that region. And where does that line up? At $62,000 right now. Yes, this will be rising with time. So later on, a couple of days from now, over the course of the weekend, those EMAs might actually be situated in the $63,000 region. Again, that's why I started to already build some of those long positions ahead of time. And now we can just simply manage that risk. So you can see over here, spot starting to bid again, leverage starting to bid, open interest has already been reflushed, and they're going to reset and attempt to move into the longs once again. We are, of course, going into the UK session as per usual during my showtime. We'll see what happens when we move later on into the US session, if they can continue to maintain this bullish price action and they're going to continue to bid into that time zone. So some of the trades that we've taken, remember, I have participated in the Banter Cybertruck competition. You guys can join along. In order to participate, just come through to this page over here. Once you have a Bybit account, you can get a Bybit account over here. They'll give you up to a $30,000 sign-up bonus, by the way, if you use this specific link below. But once you've done that, come through here, click on the Cybertruck competition link over here. It will take you through to this page. And all you need to do is click register, right? You go here where it says trade now, because I've already registered. Yours will say register. Click that over there. The competition has officially begun, right? It's going to be the highest P&L percentage. Whoever can get the highest P&L percentage will win. Okay, right now there's only 76 participants, which is crazy, guys. This means the odds are in your favor, right? Sign up to the competition. The odds are in your favor. If you can win the highest P&L percentage, you'll win a Cybertruck valued at $100,000. If you already have a Cybertruck or you don't have electricity in your country, you can get the money instead and buy whatever car you want. But right now, this is the Cybertruck competition. Here's the trades that I have on the table. We took these, of course, yesterday. So I am up 22% on the Rune long trade. It is starting to break out. We'll have a look at that on the trading view chart in a moment. The other trade slightly down on Arbitrum, down 3.65%, but I'm still giving it a chance. And then also slightly down on Dogecoin, negative 12.75%. I'm also going to continue to hold that for just a little bit longer. So those are some of the trades that I've taken. I'll update you if I do take more, but I'm liking the way that Rune is playing out over here. Rune tends to do these massive breakouts, right? It either dumps hard or it pumps very hard. So a lot of volatility over there on Rune. All right, this is price over here consolidating into the 0.618 and 65 level. This is definitely something that I'm watching in case of a reversal. It's pretty clear if you do start to break below the low that we printed on Tuesday, well, then you're probably going to start to play out the short side trade. And then you're looking for a little bit of support again to be found between that $60,000 and $62,000 region. So keep an eye out on that. That's something to watch for. This is still theoretically a downtrend, right? Miners are still selling, but they've been selling for a very, very long period of time, usually following a minor capitulation signal where they do sell. Eventually, the hash rate will reprice, right? The hash rate drops down, and then it becomes easier for them to mine Bitcoin because the hash rate has dropped, and new machines will start to turn on. Then you'll get a blue buy signal. When we get the blue buy signal over here, you then can say with very, 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 very high probability that the local low that occurred before that blue buy signal occurs will most likely be the bottom. So maybe, just maybe, you get something like this. If you're lucky, you get a throwback in here. Maybe then we start to print the blue buy signal, and then you can say with high probability that is your major low, and you're probably not coming back to that low for the rest of the cycle until the cycle ends. Okay, so keep in mind that you want to always calculate your risk, right? Remember, we do also have the BitFunded challenge when it comes to calculating your risk over here. BitFunded is where you can get funding. I've joined, I've signed up. I'm ready. I'm just waiting for the perfect trade. I'm going to show you what the platform looks like. I started with this yesterday, right after the live show. It is in the description below if you go through here to BitFunded, right? The first prop trading platform dedicated to crypto. We haven't seen this in crypto yet, right? So what does it mean? It means you pay an audition fee, and if you pass the 2-trade challenge, you only have to pass 2 trades. I'll show you what they look like now. If you can pass that, they're going to fund you. Now, it's up to you which one you want. To do this, it's a 2-step process. Go to register on BitFunded using this link. Click it. It will take you to this page. Fill out your details. Where it says over here, invitation code, there's no invitation code. Just leave that. Just fill out your details. Click register. Once you're registered, you'll come back to YouTube. So close that link. There you go. Close that link. Go back to YouTube. Then you go to number 2. Choose the challenge, right? BitFunded-Kyle. It's that one. It will open up this page. Because you use that link, if you don't use that link, it's not going to give you this page over here where you have these fees, right? The fees over here, it gives you an additional one, which I didn't know until yesterday, where you can actually go for the small one. I recommend all of you just use the small one. It's $49 then, audition fee. If you pass the 2-step challenge, you'll get $5,000, right? This is what it looks like in the platform. So this is the criteria. You go through to the dashboard. What you'll see over here, you need to pass stage 1 and stage 2. It says demo on the top. Once you pass those first 2 phases, then they'll give you a live account. Now you're trading with the actual $5,000. If you take $5,000 to $15,000, it means you've made $10,000 profit. You'll keep $9,000 because you get 90% of the profits. The leverage is maxed at 5x leverage. Remember, the leverage actually doesn't matter. What matters is calculating your risk, which is this, right? So let's assume the premise that you took a $10,000 account, right? Or you can just halve it and say $5,000, but 10,000 is a nice round number, so I want to work with that. It's giving you a unique selling point over here that they don't offer on most of these prop firms. You're getting unlimited time to participate to win the challenge, right? You're not being pressured timing wise, so you can sit and you can just wait and wait and wait until you have the perfect trade. Okay, you can see over here that your maximum daily loss is $250, but your maximum total loss on the trades is going to be $500. Now, this will depend as well, by the way, on which challenge you choose. I chose the $5,000 one. So I'm allowed to lose, I think it's around 8%, right? So if we have a look over here, risk, let's just double check on a $5,000 account. So $5,000, trading balance is $5,000. Your risk level, let's say we lose 8%, is $400. How much did I say we can lose? We can lose $500 in totality, right? So, well, that's 10%, right? You cannot lose more than 10% of the count. If you lose more than 10% of the count, you fail the challenge. You can't lose more than 5% of the count in one day. So if you lose 5% on day 1, 5% on day 2, you're out. If you lose 4% on day 1, 5% on day 2, you're still in, but you're very, very close to losing. Do you lose $5,000? No, you only lose the $49 audition fee, right? Your profit target is only $400. I mean, this is insane, guys. You understand? Like, look at this. They think of this from a risk to reward perspective. Basically, you're allowed to lose 10% just under 9%. Okay. But you only have to get 8% profit. If you get 8% profit, you got 400 USDT, you pass. Then you go through to stage 2. Now you only need 250 USDT profit, and you pass the challenge, and they're going to give you $5,000 to trade with. Absolutely crazy. Please use this over here. It's called BetterTrader, right? BetterTrader.com, bettertrader.com. Use this to calculate your risk. When you're taking the trade, this is how it works, right? I'm giving you guys free alpha. This is usually what we teach in Whale School, by the way. Let's say, for example, this is your risk to reward tool over here. Okay. That's where your stop is. So how do you do it? You're looking for a long trade. You can see percentage 2.13%. You're working on a $5,000 account. Your stop loss is where? 2.13% away. How much are you allowed to risk? I don't recommend risk the full 10% on one trade. Risk 1%. You're using 5x leverage on the platform. Click calculate. If you lose the trade, you're only losing $50, right? Now you can take this same trade 10 times, and all you need to do is win a couple of them and you pass the challenge. So this is what it looks like if you go into the platform. Let's go back to dashboards over here. Refresh that. I just want to show you what it looks like. It has the same look and feel. Was it under here? Accounts. It has the exact same look and feel as a normal Bybit or BitGet or OKX exchange, right? And then we'll continue with your altcoin requests. We'll look for opportunities. I'll drop this as well in the Discord, in Whale Room Discord. When I find trades, we can do the challenge together. If I find something that looks really, really solid, you need to be very, very careful on your risk. So there you can see it, limited to 5x. You can go with less if you want, but limited to 5x leverage. Okay, so those links are below. If you guys want to get funded, if you can pass the $5,000 challenge multiple times, the criteria is literally exactly the same. You may as well then start to go for expert mode, where you can get $100,000 funding, right? So really, really, really amazing initiative. I think it's a great benefit for those of you who have small accounts and you want to hit it big in trading, but you don't have the capital to hit it big. This is such an easy, low risk way to do it. All right. Let's continue. Let's go into it. We're going to have a look over here at some of the altcoins. So feel free, drop your altcoin requests over there. Before we go into the normal altcoins, BlackRock is making a bit of a comeback, right? Very, very nice move over here. It looks like the boys are bidding. So you need to break through this resistance over here on BlackRock. That is BlackRock, of course, Larry Pink. If you can start to see closing candles over here above 0.0008, which is going to be this blue line over here, I think that starts to really open up some beautiful long trades where you're opening up a trading range all the way back up to here, right? I'll show you what this would look like as a percentage gain. So I still have enormous BlackRock bags, but I'm still very honest with you charting wise. Get above that level, and then you're starting to look at about another 154% move towards the upside. Another one that's moving again is 𝗕𝗘, right? The ticker is 𝗕𝗘. It might have been mass capitulation on this down sloping trend line over here. You have hit that. You're starting to bounce. If you can start to get above these key levels over here, there you go. You can really shift the structure. So I would love to see price action get above these zones over here on 𝗕𝗘, break above that 0.03 or 0.033, and you'll start to shift the structure in a really, really good way. All right, let's continue. Altcoins, what have we got? Okay, so Rune, you guys want Rune? Let's go to Rune. That is, I mentioned, one of the trades that we're looking at. So we'll go to Rune, and Rune is doing pretty well. So here it is. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Now, when Rune gets going, it gets going. The reason I took the trade is because I said no guarantee you get a nice throwback. It's called the bump run, right? So usually when you break below this, then you bump into it, and then you run. Right now, this is just running. You can see over here, it's already broken structure. That's a proper break of structure. Now, usually once you create that higher high and you break the structure, you'll come back for a higher low. So we'll monitor this trade accordingly. But I know with the way that Rune trades, you can go back and look at some of these prior candles. It literally just goes full vertical. It gives very, very little time for people to get in. And therefore, that's why I just took the trade where it's at. Okay, what else have we got? Okay, Aether. We can have a look at Aether. Okay, Aether USDT, here it is. Okay, ATH, all-time highs, right? At least it shows a very nice ticker over there. Broken out of the range, looking really good. holding above the range high, and this is now officially the breakout level. Has it already met the measured move target? We can have a look over here. Of course, it's still a young coin, but there it is. It's met the measured move target, right? If you measure the breakout of the rectangle, you've hit that level. Now we just need to see it settle down, form a new range over here, and continue. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗘, yeah, that's the ticker all-time high, ATH, it's 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗘, and it is at all-time highs. Okay, what else? What else? Jupiter. We can have a look at Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter USDT. Oh, guys, I have to show you something. This is so freaking cool. I'm really chuffed. I eventually got my Trump NFT collection cards. So this has got a piece of his suit and tie in it. There you go. Have a look at that. Remember, I told you guys I bought about 150 of these. So it's got his suit and tie. I think, of course, his suit is in blue over there, and then the tie is in red. So it's a physical card that you receive with it. I have number 191 of 200 in the world. I think this is apparently already valued at $5,000, right? Given the attempted assassination, valued at $5,000, and that's just one of 150 cards. So I told you guys, I said, buy the NFT collection. I told you. I hope some of you got in on that. All right, let's continue. Jupiter. Anyway, I'm chuffed about that. Jupiter still downtrending over here. Well, it has broken. It's created a break of structure over here. You can see getting above this zone over here. I'm going to ignore that wick over there because it's illiquid, but getting above that over there, consolidating above that zone is a good sign for potential continuation higher. Let's go to some of the others. What do we have? Okay, let's go back to Solana. How's Solana doing, since it's one of my biggest positions? Solana. Okay. So you did get the rejection over there. Theoretically, you could have filled these shorts at least as a little bit of a hedge coming into the 618 and 65. That's taken from the wick high down here to the wick low. So that's the downtrend of that move, looking at price pushing back and rejecting from that level. We definitely did indeed get that rejection. If you took the short trade, well, you'd already be down 3%. Of course, this is leverage. From top to bottom, it went down 5.4%. Now you could move your stops into break even, and this is just simply a hedge if you did take that. Now, what I would love to see is for Solana to start to break above this pink box over here. If it can get above this 165 more specifically, consolidate there, you're going to break the downsloping trend line, and then you're looking at a major bullish move and a breakout from this bull wedge, right? If you look over here, this is going to be your pole. We'll give it a conservative target over there, and you would then be looking at the breakout, and this could take Solana as high as $265, right? So it's still definitely in a bullish pattern, but it's coming into resistance. Alternatively, if you're just simply viewing this as a range level, well, you're hitting mid-range, and it would be the same thing, right? Get back above mid-range, and you trade it to the top side, this being the range, right? This being the predominant range. There it is, between 120 and $205. That is your range level for Solana. All right. Okay. AIOZ, EOS. We can bring that up. I haven't brought that up for very, very long, but EOS, did I spell it wrong? IOZ. There we go. EOS, USDT. Let's look at KuCoin. They usually have some nice history over there. And let's take a look. Okay, so EOS, I know this was a coin from the previous cycle. They launched their, their IDO launched into the raging bull market. So you got a massive, massive move towards the upside, bled all the way out. Geez, if you pick this up in the bear market, you'd be up 2,364%. Even at current levels, it would have gone up 5,400%. This is the insanity and beauty of crypto. I have to show you guys why. Let's just go to this gold chart. This is why crypto is so crazy, right? Look at this. So the percentage gain I just showed you over there, I was looking at this morning, wondering, well, just hypothetically, what happens if I was alive in 1971 or 70 and I just decided to put my whole net worth into gold? Well, you would have got a 7,237% gain, right? But you also could have just come and put all your money into EOS literally in 2023, and you would have had pretty similar gains to that. That's the beauty of crypto. Anyway, point being over here, let's have a look at EOS. So definitely you would want to see some sort of a low formed over here. This is going to be a key level. You want to start to see this bounce from this region. As it currently stands, this is downtrending though, right? Lower lows, lower highs, new swing lows as well. I would expect that EOS is probably going to come into this box at least, right? Something like that. Probably even a little bit deeper. That's what I'd be looking for price-wise. That takes it down to about 30 to 40 cents, right? 30 to 40 cents. Okay. Someone wants 𝗬𝗚 on Sol. Let's have a look at 𝗬𝗚. Okay, 𝗬𝗚 the bull, right? Let's see how 𝗬𝗚 the bull's doing. Let's see. $83 million market cap. Load up the daily. Very good. It's trading at all-time highs. There's nothing bearish about this. This is super good. If you're long, stops go below yesterday's low, and you're probably fine for continuation higher on this, right? This is looking good. You can make the argument, of course, always that there is a bit of a parallel channel forming. Let's just see, where are the channels on this one over here? There you go. There's a parallel channel. So you're probably coming towards the top of that channel. Just be careful of that. I'm not sure if it's going to continue to respect this channel. If it does, again, as mentioned, stops just go below yesterday's low. And if it comes down back to the bottom, you guys know exactly where to start to pick this up. Okay, Suman, don't spam the chat. I've got you. Ondo, don't post that again, bro. That's like a little bit excessive. I'll bring it up, Ondo. Okay, let's go. Ondo USDT. Okay, up 3.45%. This is also one of the long trades that we gave. So you're still in it, right? No problems over here. You never took out that wick low. Consolidating. We'll see what happens over here. But right now, this is range bound. Anytime you can pick Ondo up just under $1 is probably a good buy. Looking for a move up to 145. That's a 45 to 50% move, right? So very, very substantial. Okay, Illuvium. I can go to Illuvium. Illuvium, it's got 1V or what? Let me just go here, guys. I don't know this. Illuvium. Gaming. Here's Illuvium, ILV. Okay, you broke structure. There we go. That's good. So you got above this zone at least. Let's just pull that up. What is wrong with this thing? Okay, one sec. There we go. All right. So created a higher high. Watch for the next throwback as a higher low. Hopefully it gets above this region. You never tap the bottom of the box over here, which is just the cleanest area where you'd want to see. So I would also be careful in terms of a range. You could view this as, you know, theoretically coming in towards that mid-range level. Where is the... All my stuff is jumping all over the place. Here it is. Okay, one sec. There you go. You're coming into mid-range now at $76. Watch for a little bit of resistance over there on Illuvium and then the pullback. Okay, ICP. I think ICP was one of the ones that we said didn't look too bad. So we can take a look at that. Internet Computer Protocol. Okay, yep. Came into major support over here. Started to bounce. And you're obviously looking for a resistance once again coming into the mid-range. So if we take from range high down to range low, there it is, mid-range coming in at $11.40. In terms of the deltas, bear in mind, guys, the market is very long, right? All the deltas are positive, very, very positive. If you look over here on Bitcoin, look at that massive positive delta, which is why there is still a possibility, you know, of 60 to 62. But I'd rather still have my longs on the table and just eliminate the risk by moving stops into break even. If it flushes those out, we'll get back in between 60 and 62K. I think as long as Bitcoin remains above that, it becomes a buying opportunity. Remember, the traders in here are absolutely crushing it. It's not only me and my calls. We're going to soon start posting again into DJ and calls. I actually made one or two posts in there for today because the market will start to heat up, right? The market will definitely start to heat up again. What else have we got? Again, a big reminder, BitFunded and the Bybit trading competition. Make sure that you guys do join. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you all on the next one. Have an absolutely stellar day and cheers for now.